Now, I mention that because our next guest, not only a champion player, footballer with AFLW, of course, with the Carlton Football Club, originally from Brisbane, Tayla Harris, and also played at Melbourne. Remember when they had those games against the Bulldogs? And that famous photograph of Tayla kicking the ball with the outstretched leg as good as Teddy Whitten could ever kick. Not only is she a champion footballer, Dog, but she's had 5 professional fights.
Undefeated.
She's undefeated. Her last fight, which was her 5th fight, she fought for the welterweight Australian Championship, and there was a draw. So she's a footballer and she's a boxer, and she's been good enough to join us. G'day, Tayla.
Hello, how are you going?
Well, Tayla, do you have a fighting name?
I actually don't, but I've decided to have a fighting symbol. So I like to be the lightning bolt in any of my promotion and stuff. So I couldn't think of a name, so I just decided that's what I would go with.
So can we say...
And I'm fully committed, so I've got it tattooed on the side of my head. So.
On the side of your head?
Yeah, behind my ear.
So can we say it's Tayla the Bolt Harris?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Hey, Tayla, what are we now, 9 or 10 days away from round 1, season 3? Pretty exciting exciting time for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's come up very quick. We were saying at training last night, this is our last, I guess, conditioning and pre-season session, so that was pretty exciting. That's over now, and we can focus on footy more than running, and so it's going to be good.
And you got a new coach. How's Half going?
Yeah, he's great. We all love him. He's super enthusiastic. He actually joins in heaps of the drills, which is something pretty unique, I think. And I think that's going to help us a lot, just having him right there.
What about the runner, Andy Marr?
Very soft runner.
He'd be a bit of a pest, wouldn't he?
He's the best addition to the club or to our program that we could have asked for. He's so enthusiastic. He's actually loves it probably more than most, so it's pretty cool.
You had a practice game on the weekend?
Yeah, it went pretty well. I think it's pretty hard to rotate 27 or that many people through a 16-a-side team, so that was a challenge to start with. And then, but I think it went really well. We obviously had heaps of things to test out, structures and all that, so the feedback from the coaching staff was good, so I think it was positive.
Hey, Tayla, unlike a lot of the women playing AFLW at the moment, you started playing at a very young age up in Brizzy. How did you get attracted to the AFL in Brizzy?
I just started because my brother played at the local club. I think my dad, he played when he was younger, so I suppose that was the first sport we tried as kids, and we both loved it. So him and I just played in the same team for a few years when we were little kids, and then never stopped, I guess. I guess
you got to come to a point in your life, though, whether you wonder whether there's a career in this, whether there's a profession in this. Obviously, being a marquee player, it's worked out like that for you. But was there a point where you had to make the decision, yes, I can do this, I want to go all the way with this?
I think I was pretty lucky with this league and timing. So I was 18 when AFLW Season 1 was happening. So I was the right age, or the minimum age to be drafted. So I think I didn't actually have to go through the, I guess, awkward realisation that I might not be able to play. I think I was quite lucky to be able to just, I guess, be naive enough while I was 16 or 17, and then all of a sudden there's a vision for the Women's League and I can focus on that. So that's how it happened for me, but I know plenty of people missed out or probably are too old to, I guess, have an ambition to be full-time athletes, if that makes sense.
Tayla Harris has joined us. She's Carlton AFLW star.
And what about, obviously, when you pick up the newspaper this morning, Tayla, and you see the back page and big stories, I guess it's come out again because we're on the eve of another AFLW season, and all the focus being on head injuries and ACLs and so forth. You lost your captain last year, missed the whole season last year, Brianna Davey. What's your initial response when you start reading the headlines?
Well, I don't actually read the paper because I'm in my own generation, so I haven't read it yet. But I assume it's about, obviously, what's it about?
Well, they're talking about that women are 10 times more likely to do ACLs, which is what Brianna Davey, of course, has been out with your captain of Carlton, and also twice more likely to suffer concussion. So they're saying that these figures make it a dangerous game for the girls.
Well, I think my point of view is that statistic based on me, or is it based on just general women? Because I could argue that because of my build and my makeup, I'm quite, I guess my hips, for example, aren't as wide as the next player. Am I as prone to ACL injuries? I don't know if that's how the studies are, but I feel like this is contact sport, and I guess there's studies and everything, but if you give yourself every chance not to be injured by doing strength work and prehab and all that sort of stuff, then I suppose just as much as the boys, does that make sense? Like, I think those statistics are scary, I guess, for someone who doesn't know the game, but for someone who's played the game for long enough, and I've probably been in multiple positions where I should get injured, but I don't, and I credit that to my training and my conditioning, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, no doubt about that. It's not going to happen to everyone, of course, Taylor, but obviously research has shown that at the moment there has been a lot of knee injuries in the first two seasons of AFLW. One of the suggestions was that, and I don't think you would agree with this, because restructure the game to play a women's game instead of a women playing a men's game of football. Now, my understanding is from day one from AFLW that all of the women, they want to play the game exactly how the men play the game. In fact, would like 18 aside rather than 16 aside.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just want to play football. I don't think it needs to be modified for women, and I'm not really sure how, if whoever suggested that and whoever would try and implement that, how are they going to explain it? Like,
who did suggest that, Kevin?
I think that's just a silly suggestion.
Where did that come from, Kevin?
Well, I think Peter Jess has been leading certainly the call on women's football in terms of the safety of the game.
This is your third year, of course, AFLW, Tayla. Have you noticed just within your own squad, firstly at Brisbane, the talent depth that you experienced in year one, now your second year at Carlton, have you noticed yourself the improvement in the depth of a squad?
Yeah, absolutely. A player like Maddie Press-Barkis, who's just been drafted, is 18. She comes into the team and looks like she's been there since the beginning. I think that's pretty unique, and that's going to be a trend moving forward, because they've got the pathways, so the youth girls pathway. She's gone all the way through, much like I did, I suppose, because I started young, but she did, and she's come in and looks like she's, like I said before, been there the whole time, and she has her body is conditioned and she's ready to go. So I think that is going to be a feature moving forward, having players come in ready to play, which is something that perhaps wasn't the case in the first few years because people didn't know what to expect. And obviously, coming from local footy, you can't expect to train like you're playing for an AFL club. So I think moving forward, we're not going to have those issues of having players come in and not be ready. I guess, I suppose, if you're not ready, then you're not going to play. So that's going to be pretty exciting to see.
Tayla Harris has joined us. Tayla, when's your next fight?
It'll be after the season, obviously, and I'm assuming around May, provided I obviously don't have any injuries, touch wood, but as soon as possible, because I want to try and build on my record. And
is there going to be a rematch?
Well, actually, I've had an opportunity to fight in the US for a world title, so I think I might look at that. Yeah, which is in February, but obviously I've got footy, so that's what I had to just answer and say, thanks for considering me, let's do it later. But the opponent I fought last fight now took that opportunity, so she's over in, I think, Costa Rica, fighting for a world title soon.
Sarah Dwyer.
So obviously see how she goes with that, and then hopefully she's okay to fight, I guess, in a few months. And then if not, there's plenty of other opponents who I'm sure would love the opportunity. So looking forward to it.
Well, if you get to spar with Andy Maher, let us know. We'll come down and watch that.
And Emma, we've got Emma. Your daughter can spar with Tayla.
Not just yet.
Get her ready for the world title fight.
Tayla, best of luck for season 2019 with you and the Carlton Footy Club.
Thanks, Tayla.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
It's a pretty exciting time, isn't it, for the Blue Baggers? I barrack from, as you know, I barrack for AFLW Carlton because of Daniel Harford and our association.
And Richmond haven't got a
magnificent individual. So just make sure you're bound by blue in 2019. Yes, sign up and become a Carlton member because I got great respect today. Head to membership.carltonfc.com.au. We can call the club now on 1300 Carlton. There is a very, very special AFLW membership on offer this season for those wanting to throw their support behind the girls.